Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is brought to you by the Friends in Recovery community, a thriving network of individuals who are fighting back against the stigma of addiction. Join our hosts as they speak up about the real issues of addiction, treatment, and recovery. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now, here are your Friends in Recovery.
Welcome, everybody, to the Friends in Recovery Podcast. I'm your host, Jersey Ed, along with none of my co-hosts tonight, Buckeye Bambi, Bonkers Beth, as we last known her, Jill, and Dan, who joins us every once in a while. It's just me today, guys, solo. I did a great interview with Amanda Black, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I also want to give out some information on the podcast hotline. If you want to get a hold of us, if you hear anything you like, or you want to reach out and talk to us about recovery or whatever you hear on these podcasts, you can call us at 800-989-6504. Or you can email us at help@friendsinrecoverypodcast.com. And we do have a website. It's friendsinrecoverycommunity.org. And guys, we have a bunch of meetings that go on daily, 7 p.m. and 12 noon Eastern time every day. So if you go to the website, you'll see us there. If you go to AA and go to Intergroup and look for Friends in Recovery there, you can click into our Friends in Recovery meetings also from there. We are a 12-step group on AA's website. So please come join us and just click over to AA or our website and you can get a hold of us. I'd like to thank Carl from SoberPod in Chelsea. They are doing a great job over there. 366 fucking days is what they are doing. They're going through the book. And if you guys get a chance, go listen to them. Give a listen to Carl and Chelsea and let them know that Jersey Ed from Friends in Recovery sent you. Anyway, so that's all I got with as far as that goes. But yeah, please, if you want to send us an email or get a hold of us somehow, please do so. We'll be more than happy to help you out if you need a meeting or if you need guidance on anything. Please just remember the 800-989-6504 is not an emergency line. You can just leave a message and we will be more than happy to call you back. Also, we are always looking for people to come on the show if you want to be a guest or if you want to just join us on the studio audience. And we now have the capability, because we're using this Riverside FM studio now, we have the capability of bringing audiences in. So if you want to do that, please email me at my personal email address is jerseyed2018@gmail.com. So that is it for all the stuff that we need to go about. I do want to take a minute here and talk about Amanda Black. I had her as a guest on. I do some life coaching, and I started a mastermind group, and it's called Lifelong Wellness Mastermind. We are on Zoom every other week, I believe. Yes, it's every other week on Wednesday nights and 7 p.m. Eastern time. And our next meeting actually of Lifelong Wellness Mastermind is going to be January 10th, 2024, Wednesday at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in that, get me on my email. The personal email I just gave you guys is jerseyed. 2018@gmail.com, and maybe Carl will put it up on the screen here so you guys can see it. If you're not watching, again, jerseyed2018@gmail.com, and that is for the Lifelong Wellness Mastermind group. I can give you some more information on it. And as we're still talking about it, and I'll get into Amanda here for a second because she was a guest on our Wednesday night mastermind group. And it was just an amazing amazing group that we had, and she did an amazing job. So that's why I want to bring this on here on Friends in Recovery. She is in recovery. She's a friend of Friends in Recovery, and we go all into that in this interview that I do with her. But I did start a new, excuse me, it's been a long day. I did start a new YouTube channel, like I said before. My YouTube channel is Lifelong Wellness. If you go on YouTube and look for Lifelong Wellness, and you will see you'll see us there. There's a couple videos up right now, and I'm just started a thing called Running Shorts, Lifelong Wellness Running Shorts. As a lot of you guys know, I do a lot of running. I love running. It's my life. It's what I do. I just actually ran 24 miles on New Year's Day to celebrate the new year. And I accomplished that this past week. And I did our first running shorts, Lifelong Wellness running shorts from my run, halfway through my run. So go check that out. That will be a weekly information, inspiration, whatever I feel like it, whenever I feel like it. I'm just going to record it 2 to 4 minutes, and it's going to go up every week. It's not going to be about running. Might be sometimes, but it's just called Running Shorts. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Lifelong Wellness, and also to our channel, to Friends in Recovery podcast. Please subscribe here too, and like and share. Same thing with both of the channels. Please, if you can, we would love to have you join us. It's open. The Lifelong Wellness Mastermind group, just to let everybody know, is open free. And we can get you the information you need. Just send me an email. And that is it about that. Let's see, Amanda Black. That's who's going to be up here in a minute. It's an interview that I did with Amanda, and she just talks about she lost 380 pounds, and she's in recovery, and she has everyday struggles just like everybody else, but she pushed through all this craziness in life and losing all this weight and raising kids and staying sober. And I got to interview her for our Lifelong Wellness group, and everybody that was on the group wanted it on here as a podcast. And I talked to Amanda, and she was more than happy to let us show this podcast. So I like to just have the podcast play, or not the podcast, the interview. It's actually an interview that her and I did. Again, it's just an amazing interview. We're going to play it here in a second, but please, when you listen to it, or if something strikes you, please drop some comments in here below, or even just get an email out to us. It'd be great to hear what your thoughts on here. Now you can listen to the interview that I did with Amanda Black. Okay, guys. Welcome, Amanda. Thank you for doing this Lifelong Wellness Mastermind group and speaking for us. We did a little pre-recorded session here. On my end, I just want to try a couple things out, and on your guys' end, who's watching this now, it's going to be a little bit more directed, and especially with Amanda, we have a lot of questions. So, guys, after this recording ends, Amanda's going to come on, and she's going to answer any questions or follow-ups with anything, and then we will we'll just go over things. So just hang on. This is going to be a great interview. I know Amanda personally because of COVID, and she jumped on one of our Friends in Recovery podcasts, one of our Friends in Recovery meetings, and we just kind of took to each other. And we've been very good friends ever since. And I asked her to come on because she has an amazing story, like you guys seen in the emails I sent out to you, is that she's lost a lot of weight. She's in recovery, and there's a lot of things going on in her life. good, bad, indifferent, just like all of us. And she's here to share all that with us. So Amanda, welcome. And this is going to be a grueling interview. No, I'm just kidding. So we met on the Friends in Recovery meetings when COVID hit, correct?
Right.
Okay. And where were you at in your life when COVID hit? Was this the beginning of your weight loss, or was this just a quick tell us where you were when we met?
No, I had already I had already lost right at 300 pounds.
Okay. So how much weight did you lose overall?
320 pounds.
Wow, 320 pounds. So that's up to date right now, 320 pounds. Mm-hmm. If anybody's seen those before and after pictures that you sent over to us with your bio, it's just you don't even look like you. It's just amazing. You don't even look like you.
I'm not the same person that I was.
No, I can imagine, right? I mean, just with your mindset, your thinking, your physical activity, your everything, breathing, walking around, everything. I mean, it just affects everything.
I picked up 50 pounds at the gym, and I'm like, how did I carry that?
Pick up everybody. I want you to go pick up 320 pounds and walk around with it all day long, right? It's just crazy how we kind of just not let ourselves go, but fall into this abyss or whatever, just like our recovery. It happened. So Amanda, first question I want to ask, who is Amanda Black? Who are you?
I am a 43-year-old caregiver. I'm a single mom of 3 kids, 24-year-old, a 16-year-old, and a 9-year-old princess. She is her mama's mini-me. I spent 22 years in active addiction, and I grew up in a very toxic home, being raised by a narcissistic mother, and my father passed away at the age of 3, and so to say that I was looking for an escape was an understatement. We weren't allowed to have feelings as a child, much less speak about them. Children were to be seen, not heard, and so I didn't even, I remember when I was in treatment, my case manager said, how come anytime something happens to you, you cry? Well, because crying was the only emotion I knew. And you learn, that's what you do as a baby. And that just tells, in that moment, I realized I was never taught a coping skill. Not a single coping skill. Because the only one I knew was the one I learned as a baby.
And that was the crying?
That was crying.
And attention seeking, right?
Yeah.
And, getting, obviously when we're babies, we cry to get our needs fulfilled, right?
Yeah.
So you took that in through your early childhood?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And so I was people pleasing, and at a very young age, I think the earliest I remember my weight playing a part of my life was I started having weight problems at the age of 10. And so I would have been in about 4th grade, and I was overweight all of my life, and my mom and my grandmother would say things to me like, well, you got a pretty face. And they would say, you better lose that weight so you can get a good man. Stuff like that. And and that is not how you encourage your child to get healthy, So that is definitely a generational curse that I have broken with my daughter. So, but anyway, me and food had a love affair. Like, food was the one thing that nobody could take away from me because it was something I had to have. And it was my best friend. being that I didn't have any coping skills, to say that I didn't have any people skills, you know, I mean, I had friends, don't get me wrong, but I didn't really have friends, I had friends of convenience, and I would do pretty much anything, within reason, for somebody to be my friend. I remember stealing $10 from this girl at school one time and passing it out so I would have friends for the day. And so food was my best friend. And
let's go back to let's go real quick. Let's go back to age 10 when you said that's when you started noticing. Did you notice it, or how did that come about? Like at age 10, did you looking back now, or is it?
Looking back now.
Okay.
I realized that there was an issue.
Did you think there was something wrong at age 10?
No, I just remember that. I do remember looking back now that I remember when we would go school clothes shopping. I remember my mom complaining that she had to spend more money on my clothes because she had to shop in the women's section. And then as time went on, she would have, it was always an issue with buying clothes for me. And it was horrible. And let's be honest, big girls' clothes, they're not as pretty as skinny girls' clothes, unless you have the money to go to a store that specifies in bigger girls' clothing, And being a household of 5 children, my parents couldn't afford that. And a lot of the stuff that I wore was, stuff from yard sales, thrift stores, and it was bought from bigger old ladies. We watched, the last time I went to my mom's house, which was years ago, but we watched a home video. And Ed, I'm not kidding you, I was dressed in a short outfit that had big old navy blue roses on all over it.
Oh my God.
I looked like a rose garden.
Oh my God.
I said, Mom, you let me go out of the house looking like that? And she was like, well, I thought it was pretty. Well,
yeah, I think back then versus today, it's a little different, but
Anyway,
so you didn't feel like the other kids, even your brothers, sisters. How many brothers, sisters do you have?
I had 2 brothers. My mom had 3 kids, and then my stepdad brought 2 kids into the marriage.
Okay. Did you feel like them, or did you?
No,
what? No.
I always felt like
were,
I was not treated like them either.
Okay.
When I was 13 years old, 13 or 14, I was molested by my stepbrother, and I remember I didn't want to wake my mom up because I didn't want her to get mad at me for waking her up, and so I stayed awake in my bed waiting for her to wake up. As soon as she woke up, I gave her enough time to get downstairs, get her coffee made, and get settled. And then I went downstairs when it was just me and her and told her what had happened, because it happened in the middle of the night. And she told me I was lying because I didn't wake her up as soon as it happened. So nothing was done to him, and that I just felt like I didn't matter. And it wasn't just that incident. It was everything, And looking back now, raising my kids, I feel like there may have been some oppositional defiancy disorder going on. And she was my person, But my mom did the best she could with what she knew. it was just a generational thing. You know, she treated me the only way she knew how.
Yeah. So from 10 years old, weight problems started. 13 to 14-ish, you get molested by your stepbrother. Where did that go? Like the food, and was there drugs? Because now you're being told you're lying, right? And something physically happened to you, and you're told that you have to lose some weight. You're dressing up in older people's clothes. You're going to the this all has to play a lot by the age of 13 or 14, and then having this happen to you from your stepbrother. I mean,
So
where were you at like that?
I poured myself into my schooling.
Okay.
I excelled in school. I lived to go to school because at school I felt like I mattered. I felt like I was noticed. And I got in trouble a little bit for talking. I'm a talker. And I even got put on a behavior contract one time for talking too much. But, but as far as grades go, I got inducted into the Beta Club all 4 years of high school.
Wow.
I graduated ninth in my class. So I poured
ninth in your class?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What did you see that at the time? Ninth. I think I graduated last in my class, right? I mean, let alone ninth. Like, was that a great accomplishment, or was that, oh, I should have graduated first? Mom and dad don't like me. I don't know. Tell me your mindset of that. Like, graduated ninth.
It was just. I mean, I thought that it was ninth. When I told my mom that I graduated ninth, she said, well, there were only 48 kids. But out of those 48 kids, I graduated ninth.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I could have graduated 48th.
You could have, yeah. So let me ask you, were you a Little House on Prairie type school? 48 kids.
No, but we did have, in our school, it was pre-K through 12th grade.
Okay. All right. So you grew up in Georgia, a little rural town in Georgia, basically, right? Is that where you grew up?
I started out in Atlanta.
Okay.
I was actually born in Atlanta.
Okay.
And I went to school in Hapeville, and then, the crime started getting bad. So we moved to Marietta, and right down the road from the Big Chicken. And we actually, when the blizzard of 93 came, we actually went sledding on Windy Hill Road when it was being built. That was pretty. It was pretty fun. So anyway, then I guess they were condominiums. Anyway, when we moved in, by the time we moved out, there was so much crime in that neighborhood. So I was 14, and we moved to the North Georgia mountains.
Okay.
And, it's a small town. You basically have to be grandfathered in to be accepted. So moving up here did nothing for my self-esteem. I remember my very first day at school here, I went to sit down at a table where there were other kids sitting, and one of the girls sitting there said, "You don't think you're going to sit with us, do you?" That crushed me. And I carried that with me all of my adulthood. And I finally said something to that girl about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it's amazing how one thing is said to us and we carry that throughout our life, right? And a lot of you guys know that are listening right now, is that my mom always told me I wasn't smart enough to go to a normal high school, so I went to a vocational school. Well, I think I'm doing pretty good, and I think you're doing pretty good too, as far as everything goes. Yeah. And it's just, we carry that craziness. Let's go back to graduation. You graduated ninth in your class. it was just kind of normal. It was just kind of like, okay, and it's time to move on to the next thing. Where was your weight at this point?
I'm not real sure where my weight was number-wise.
Were you
I was overweight,
keep gaining?
for sure.
Okay,
No,
all right.
no,
So
I
you're
was
still
never
gaining
skinny.
weight.
I'm smaller now than I ever have been.
Wow. From even in high school, smaller than what you were in high
yeah.
school.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm smaller than I was in middle school.
Okay. So after you graduated,
After I graduated, I got accepted to Southern Georgia University.
Okay.
I can't think of the name of the school. Anyway, it's a university in South Georgia, and I got accepted on a full scholarship. But because I was looking for that acceptance and looking for that love that I wasn't receiving at home, and looking for it in all the wrong places, I ended up pregnant with my first son. And so
that was at age what?
19.
19. Okay.
Well, I found out I was pregnant at 18.
Okay.
And I had him at 19.
Still overweight, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was
Okay.
high-risk pregnancy with all three of my babies because I was
Okay. All right.
I had diabetes with all of them.
So diabetes. I'm sure there's all kinds of these health issues along the way also that you were dealing with, right? I'm sure from the age 10 on, right? I mean, I'm sure of all that, and that didn't help the self-esteem either, right?
No, and here's the thing. I feel like I had diabetes as a child, but I was never taken to the doctor for my weight. I was just told to do better. You know,
You're not trying hard enough, right?
Yeah, it was all on me.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
all the effort was on me, and but I was never taken to the doctor. My numbers were never checked. But I believe with all my heart I was full-blown diabetic. There's no way.
So health issues up to age 19 and a pregnancy. Did you find out anything with the doctor then? What like the doctor tell you to lose weight, or did he kind of
doctors
talk
told
to
me
you
all-
about anything?
They continued to tell me to lose weight.
Okay.
You know, and I would try. Let me rephrase that. I would say I would try. You know, and I would pick a diet. I'm going to do this, and I would justify not doing it. You know, and
What do you mean justify not doing it? What does that mean?
well, I would say I was going to do it, but in secret, I was not doing it.
Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense? Like there was always a reason why I couldn't, but really it was just an excuse.
Yeah. You weren't ready, right?
No.
You weren't ready. Yeah. When did all the drug use come in, or the alcohol use, or substance abuse? When did that come in?
At 19.
When did that start playing a role? At 19.
I smoked
So
my
were you
first joint at
using?
19.
Okay. So were you using when you had your when you were pregnant?
No. I
Okay.
didn't. No,
Okay.
I didn't use while I was pregnant, but I did smoke weed while I was pregnant. So
Okay.
just be clear about that. And I justified it by saying that I needed to smoke weed so I could eat. I never had a problem eating.
Yeah. Right.
But now with my daughter, I did stay sick a lot the first trimester. But, you know, the doctor had me on 6 Percocet 10s a day, so that would make anybody sick. And being an
Wow.
addict, you know, I took those things like, well, the doctor told
M&Ms.
me, you know.
God. So 19, you have your son, you're still overweight, and now substance abuse comes in, thrown right in there. I mean, you must have felt like $1 million with that going on, right? I mean, seriously.
Not really. I didn't, the marijuana, it made me tired. And I slept enough on my own.
Depression?
I had depression a lot growing up. And so, But of course, they didn't die. Didn't get taken to the doctor. I just got accused of smoking marijuana.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry, my mind goes blank a lot.
No, it's okay. There's a lot of tough questions. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. If my story inspires one person, then it does its job. So I didn't get taken to the doctor. I dealt with depression. Marijuana makes me tired, makes me go to sleep. It just wasn't for me. It wasn't my way to escape. Then at the age of 20, this older lady that I knew, she was a real cool lady, and her and I met years before that. I think I went to school with her son or something. I can't remember exactly, but anyway, you know how you meet somebody and you just have a connection with them. You just click, right? So, well, that's the way her and I were. Well, I ran into her again. Well, she was on meth. And she just had so much energy, And I had went to hang out with her at her house. She invited me over. Well, when I got there, she was doing a line. And that was the first time I'd ever done it. And it was over.
And that was it.
So I tell my kids, when they tell you in those DARE classes, in those CHAMPS classes, that all it takes is one time.
It's true.
That's true.
Yeah. Especially if you have the gene that we have is like, okay, it makes us feel better. It makes us, I remember.
All those emotions that you're feeling every day, all it takes is that one time and they're gone.
Yeah, they're gone. Absolutely. So you started smoking meth. Was that your drug of choice at what age? What, in your 20s now?
No, well, I was, it was right after my son was born. He was only a couple months old.
Okay. So that was your drug of choice. Alcohol, was alcohol in there too, or was it just meth?
Just meth.
Okay. Meth.
Well, it was
and
meth
it made
and pills.
you. Okay. And it made you feel like you were $1 million bucks, right? I mean, well,
baby.
Yeah. And you had all this energy now, which you never had, right? Because of your overweight. And I know everybody's probably asking this, and did you lose weight on the meth? Because that's no. Okay. So you're eating.
I mean, I might have lost 20 pounds.
Okay, but nothing out of the
Not
blue
drastic,
that.
No.
Nothing drastic. Okay. So
I remember
you were
staying
eating
about about a year and a half into my weight loss journey. I'm smaller now than I was when I did meth.
Wow.
I spoke.
Wow.
I mean, those words came out of my mouth.
Wow. That is crazy. So that now let's fast forward, because I don't want to stay in the problem. I want to get to the solution, because solution is recovery. How old were you when you got into recovery?
I was 36.
36. Okay.
Yeah.
Still overweight.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Still overweight.
468 pounds.
468 pounds. I couldn't even imagine you looking. I couldn't. Well, I mean, the before and after pictures, obviously, yes, but. So 468 pounds, you come into recovery, and you kick the meth and whatever else you're using. How did you feel then? And what did it?
I felt great good? Because I went to treatment, and I do want to say that I got busted back in 2002, and I stayed clean and sober off all mood altering substances for 4 years.
Okay.
However, I didn't go to treatment. And treatment, the word treatment speaks for itself. You got to treat that underlying cause.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to relapse. Like you're just white knuckling it. I mean, you're just biding your time. I stayed clean and sober off all mood altering substances for 4 years. But then I was sitting on a friend of mine's couch one night, and she pulled out her Lortabs, and all of a sudden my back started hurting. And I was like, think my back hurts. He was like, no, you don't need one of these. And that inner addict just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But if I'd have went to treatment, I would have had the skills to squash that inner addict, you know? And so when December the 1st, 2015, DFACS knocked on my door, and which had happened probably 25 times before. But the difference now was God had intervened. My higher power had intervened, like I had been praying for. And I knew it was going to take me losing my kids. I knew that I needed to go to treatment. I also knew I was not strong enough to put myself in treatment. Because if I put myself in treatment, I could sign myself out of treatment. So DFACS knocked on my door. Every other time they knocked on my door, they sent me to take a drug screen. This time the drug screen came to me.
Oh.
So there was no way that I could finagle it, you know.
So you got busted, obviously, right then and there.
Right. But
Okay.
I was grateful for that because that got me put in an accountability court.
And
that court saved my life.
Yeah.
More ways than one. And so about a
I'm
year
sure.
in, I remember sitting in a classroom and I asked the facilitator, I said, okay, so I obviously have a food addiction. How do I overcome a food addiction? Or how do you overcome an addiction to something you have to have? He said, you have to love yourself enough to figure it out. And I thought, I mean, that was like a 2x4 upside my face. Because I thought, I do love myself enough. And I am worth it. I mean, yes, it's going to be hard. You know, there are going to be mornings that I don't want to get up. And there are going to be days that I get off work that I don't want to go work out. But I'm so tired of not feeling good. And I have not fought this hard to get clean and sober for my kids to lose me. You know? So, that day, like it was, in that moment, I decided I was done. And as soon as that class was over, I went straight to the park and I walked 2 miles.
Wow. So this is 2016. Okay. So now you're a year sober. 2016.
This was
so obviously
2017.
17. Okay. So you're starting to love yourself more and more and more, and saying, "Hey, listen, this body is not who I am. This, that mind-altering stuff. Who wasn't what I want. If I can feel this good about that, now maybe I can take some of this off and see who I am." Correct?
Well, I could feel the woman that I am now, inside and out. I could feel her on the inside of me screaming to get out.
Stuck, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like she wanted out.
So that walk in the park, that was a different woman that day. That was that woman.
Yeah.
Right? What did you do after that walk in the park?
Every day I walked. Rain or shine.
Okay. And that's how it started? The weight loss?
That's how it started. Every day I would walk, and I cut out all sugar and carbs. I remember
that's right at the
my
beginning.
daughter's first birthday. It was in, so I started walking at the park. I scheduled an appointment with the weight loss doctor because in the beginning I was going to have surgery. I wanted to be skinny yesterday. So
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at you because I know that feeling.
So I went to see the weight loss doctor, and because there was one of my facilitators, she had weight loss surgery, and she dropped weight like stupid. I mean, it was crazy how fast she lost weight. So, but when I went and seen the weight loss doctor, they told me I had to see my primary care every month for 6 months. Right? I left that office feeling so deflated. because I didn't want to wait.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to put in any work. Damn it.
Works too hard. Just get this off of me, right?
Man, I wanted the easy way out.
Yeah. So did you take the easy way out, or how did that go?
Well, I remember when I left the doctor's office, my friend Angela had went with me for support, and I told her, I said, you know what? I'm going to give this shit everything I got, and that insurance company's going to see I can't lose this weight.
Mm.
And so I continued my walks. When I graduated treatment in October of that year, my son got me a gym membership, and when I started the gym, I would walk in the afternoons at the park, and then I would go in the mornings at the gym and walk 2 miles on the treadmill. So essentially I was walking 4 miles a day. Wow. And I'll never forget that first day that I walked 4 miles. 4 miles in one day. 4 miles. I did a Snapchat and sent it out to everybody. 4 whole miles in one day.
That's great. Some people can't even walk a mile and they're not overweight. You know, it's amazing.
I was astounded. You know, I mean, I hadn't walked 4 miles in the past 4 years, and so, but I did. Treatment taught me that you're going to get out of something exactly what you put into it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly it. I love that.
And
so true.
So I gave it everything I had. And I didn't have a hellacious weight loss goal. I didn't have a weight loss goal, period. I didn't get on the scale every day. I weighed myself once a month when I went to my doctor. My only goal was to be able to lay my head down at night and being honest with myself, being able to say, good job, Amanda. You gave it everything you had today.
Mm.
Even if that only meant walking those miles at the park and pushing away that piece of cake.
Yep. Now, of course, there were struggles along the way, especially in that first year, right? I mean, how?
Yeah.
Like,
I had to throw away a whole birthday cake. Wow. Everybody had a slice of cake. The rest of it went in the dumpster. Mm. I paid $30 for a birthday cake that I threw away.
Wow.
Because I'm an addict.
Yeah.
It's like
the whole
leaving
thing,
a
right?
line of dope on the counter. I can't do that.
No.
My son had to turn his closet into a pantry.
Wow.
Because, no, you're not. No, I know myself well enough. If it's there, I'm going to eat it. Yeah.
Now, the first year was what, 2016 to 17? Is that the first year of your weight? 17 to 18. How much weight did you lose 17 to 18?
80 pounds.
Approximately. 80 pounds. Wow. 80 pounds in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Now, you were also sober at the time. You got sober in 2006.
I got sober in 2016.
2016. All right. So you're sober 2 years. You're losing 80 pounds. You're feeling great. You're on top of the world, right?
Yes.
And did you know there was more to go?
What do you mean? Like
more weight? Did you think, is there more? Because you said you lost 320 pounds. It wasn't about
losing more weight. It was about continuing to give myself everything I had.
Mm. So you woke up every day and said, I'm going to give whatever this is, whatever it looks like, my best today.
Yep.
And you did that 7 days a week, even if it looked this big, right? Even if it was this much you did that day, it still was, you still accomplished it, right? Yep. Is there any days you want to give up and say, you know what, I lost 80 pounds, that's good enough?
No.
Mm. Why? What drove you?
Giving up wasn't an option.
Mm-hmm.
It just wasn't an option.
Mm.
And life happens, and life gets in the way. There were days that I wish that, I don't want to say wish, you know, I had a schedule. And between 5 and 6 a.m., I was at the gym.
Wow.
And
Every day.
anybody who knew me knew it.
Every day.
Not every day. Between
Okay.
5 to 6 days a week. And then once
Okay.
I got to where I wanted to be, you know, once I, but here's my thing. I'm an all or nothing kind of girl.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm either all in or I'm all out. So I was going 5 or 6 days a week, and then when I got to where I wanted to maintain, then I just do 3 days a week.
Okay. Okay. So how long did it take you to lose the 320 pounds? I mean, obviously since 2016 to now, but when,
Took about
what-
3.5 years.
3.5 years. Okay. And when you looked at yourself, you're like, I can't believe I did this. Like, I mean, were you amazed that you were able to do something like this and keep your sobriety on top of it all?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Because now you don't have drugs. Now you don't have food. And now all you have is just your open emotions, right?
Yeah. And sometimes it sucks having open emotions.
How'd you deal with that? Like in between of all this? I mean, that's a lot to go on.
A lot of
I didn't hear you say that again.
I do a lot of writing and a lot of praying.
Okay, writing and praying. That'll get you through a lot. Journaling, right? And getting those feelings out. Absolutely. Where was my next question? So in this whole journey that you have, losing all this weight, 320 pounds in about 3 years ish, give or take. What was the biggest failure in those years? I mean, was there a failure that you can pick out and say, listen, I wish I did it differently? Or what did you learn from that biggest failure in all those years? Did it excel your treatment? Did it excel your your recovery and your weight loss? Was there an aha moment saying, all right, either I'm going to do it or I'm not going to do it at this point? And obviously you did it.
When COVID happened, they shut the gym down. And I almost allowed that to let me quit. Because I had no gym to go to. And I'm such a creature of habit that all I knew was to work out at the gym. And so if I couldn't go to the gym, well, I just can't work out. But then giving up wasn't an option. So I just thought, there's got to be another way. Like, people work out at home every day. So I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and like, I would get sick to my stomach thinking about not being able to go work out. Like, that was my me time. You know, I'm a caregiver. I take care of people all day long. I'm taking care of old folks in the morning and young brats in the afternoon.
That would be her kids, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love my kids. I do.
I know you do.
Like, that was an hour to an hour and a half a day that I just got to be Amanda. You know? And everybody needs... You know, the first thing that I did when I started my weight loss journey was accepted myself where I am. You got to love yourself where you are.
I love that.
You know, when that facilitator said you have to love yourself enough, what he meant was, You have to love and accept yourself exactly where you are.
Mm-hmm.
And tell yourself that you're going to love yourself just as much right now as you will when you hit your weight loss goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what caused the mindset change. It wasn't about becoming a skinnier version of me. It was about becoming a better version of me.
So every pound that you lost, it wasn't to get skinny, it was become better.
Right.
Every pound that ticked down, every pound that went away, you were becoming better and better and better and better.
Healthier. Mm-hmm.
Healthier, better mindset, better for your kids, better for your clientele, better for you.
Right.
Right? Better for you. So we're going to fast forward to today, right? You and I were talking a little bit earlier, right? Before we started, and we were talking about mindset and weight loss and mindset now, right? So your mindset when you started this was, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to stop, right? What's your mindset like now because you lost all this weight? Are you finished or what? Where are you at right this very moment as Amanda?
I will never be finished.
Okay. So a journey. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. Weight loss is a journey. It's not a destination.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lifestyle change. My weight loss has become part of my recovery.
Mm. Wow.
It's just who I am. It's making healthier lifestyle choices, you know? And where I am today, listen, there's going to be life happens. You know, I have 2 children at home who have oppositional defiancy disorder. To tell you that I struggle is an understatement. Life is hard. And there are days that, you know, I would love to be able to tell you that I still have that same mindset that I did when I first started. But I don't.
Mm-hmm.
And recovery is real, recovery is raw, and recovery is honest. But one thing that I have learned is that it is okay. You know, I was talking to Ed earlier before we started recording, and I am struggling right now, you know. On the 19th of this month, I celebrated 8 years clean and sober.
Congratulations.
But just because I have 8 years clean and sober does not mean I don't struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't reach a certain year number and you're like, oh, yay! No more struggles! Woo! You know, that's not the way it works, you know? You know, and one of my kids, he's 16, and not only does he have ODD, but he displays addict behavior. He has addict thinking. He is me when I was an addict. And I have to live with him. So it's hard to keep from going back in that way of thinking. But
quitting is not on the table. Quitting is not on the table.
Right. Quitting is not an option. Relapsing is not an option. You know?
What's the options then? What's the options?
Reaching out for help.
Okay. Help. Reaching out for help. It sounds simple, but it's really hard.
Yeah, it is hard.
Yeah.
But it's possible. You know? I mean, it takes a lot of courage to say, hey, man, I'm struggling and I need help. Because it means you're not perfect. And for a lot of addicts, we want to be perfect. I know I do. or, that's the mindset I had for a really long time, but wanting to be perfect, that just sets you up for failure, and that's a lot of the reason why I couldn't lose the weight for a long time, is because if I couldn't do it perfect, I wouldn't do it. And I was more afraid of failure than I was of trying. And another thing that treatment and recovery have taught me is you have to be more afraid of not trying than you are of failure. Because failure is not failure. Failure is just a learning stepping stone.
That's it. Yeah.
That just
Amanda. So we're going to come. Oh, good.
My thing is, win or lose, win or learn, you never lose.
No. You never lose. You're right. As long as you're moving forward and as long as you're learning. I always say learning and growth is going to just keep us going. And I love the journey part. I love how you said life is hard, right? Life is hard. And nobody's going to sugarcoat that no matter what. I mean, everybody's life is hard. I love how you said I have my reprieve of myself and my workout every single day. I get that because I have to do for others all day long. And then I get to do for myself, even if it's an hour. We've never done that before, even if it's an hour with your therapist, whatever it is, an hour on here, you're taking care of yourself. You're reaching out. You're asking, what's the next step? So I'm gonna close with this. I'm gonna ask you, what is the next step in Amanda Black's life? What does that look like?
Well, I'm gonna start doing some coaching. I'm going to get coaching. And then I'm going to look for a new career avenue. I'm burnt out on caregiving. It's time the only way we keep what we have is by giving it away. And it's time for me to take the things that I have learned over the past 8 years and put them to use.
That's about all you can do, right?
Yeah.
You have to just give it back to keep it. And that's an amazing journey. There's a lot more. Obviously, you can't do it in an hour and tell the whole story. But Amanda, your journey was amazing, and I got to know you throughout these years a little bit, more, and looking forward to some work together in the future.
Yes.
And watching your growth, and because you're not done yet. You're not finished. Quitting is not an option anymore. Quitting is not an option. Failure is an option, but quitting is not an option.
Right.
Amanda Black, thank you so much. You're an amazing human being. I really look up to you. I know you say you look up to me, but the tables are turned. Somebody to take their life and completely turn around with food and substance abuse. It's just amazing to me. So you keep in touch with us. I'm going to turn it over to the group right now with some questions. And Amanda, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
This concludes this episode of Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast. Follow us on Facebook for past shows and updates, and enjoy free access to twice daily support meetings. Friends in Recovery, the Addiction Recovery Podcast, is available on Facebook, Podbean, iTunes, and YouTube 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.